100-foot structure, which was constructed in 1987. The property is bounded by Market Street to the north, the property at 9 South 2nd Street to the east and South 2nd Street to the west. This semi-detached structure features elements of a modern architectural style. Character-defining features include stone facade with granite water table, the oversized recessed entryways featuring curved glass elements, the ribbon windows on all elevations, and the asymmetric penthouse level. There are two main entrances on the northern elevation, which both feature full-view metal doors set within simple metal frames and topped with large plate glass windows, which flank full-view revolving doors topped with tall, curved glass panes. A secondary access on the western elevation features a recessed entrance with full view metal double doors flanked and topped by plate glass windows. Fenestration otherwise is limited to rows of plate glass windows on all elevations and all floors. The structure is topped with flat rubber roofs. The western portion of the property accommodates the CERTA Transfer Center, including bus lanes, shelters, and seating. Although the architectural style differs somewhat from other nearby buildings in the downtown, there are others of the same massing and design in the surrounding blocks, which accommodate more of Harrisburg's newer development. As the downtown neighborhood is characterized by the diversity of its architectural styles, age of construction, and general building design, and the subject property thus minimally contributes to the architectural character of the community. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. Because the applicant is predicating their request on driver legibility and safety, the Planning Bureau recommends that the signage limit message transitions to 6 transitions per minute per PennDOT guidance for billboards and previous approvals for similar proposals granted by the Zoning Hearing Board. Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. The proposed signage will better promote publicly accessible activities and events held by government agencies and local nonprofits, and will not be used to advertise private businesses other than that of the property owner, and thus there is a significant public benefit component to the proposal. Given the context of the signage location on a large building facade at a major intersection in a visually congested area, the current sign is somewhat unnoticeable or illegible, and thus there is justification for allowing larger signage more conspicuous to drivers and pedestrians.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Could you state your names, address, and relationship to the project?
Hi, my name is Phil Petrina, attorney at McNeese, Wallace & Nurick, counsel on behalf of the Harrisburg Downtown Improvement District. We're at 100 Pine Street in Harrisburg, and with me here tonight is...
He can introduce himself.
Yes, good evening. I'm Todd Vanderwoody. I'm the Executive Director for the Harrisburg Downtown Improvement District. Our office is right there at 22 North 2nd Street. I'm also a resident of Shipoke, 579 South Front Street.
Okay, thank you. You both heard the staff report with the one condition. Are you acceptable with that condition?
Yes, that condition is acceptable.
Okay. Did you want to add anything else to the report?
A few quick comments. We know you have a full agenda tonight, but we agree with Mr. Knight's analysis. This is a pre-existing electronically changeable message wall sign. The existing sign is 88 square feet. It has been there in its current form since 2008. The Downtown Improvement District is now looking to update that sign with a new and improved sign that's bigger, clearer, easier to read, and we think will be more aesthetically pleasing to attract people to the downtown district and to promote the citywide and countywide events. So this is a significant improvement over what is currently there, and we would just ask for the Planning Commission to recommend approval tonight for the Zoning Hearing Board of our requested variance.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, I don't have any questions. This seems to be a straightforward there, and I'm glad that the sign is being put up so that, as you said, safety, you go by there and you're trying to look at it, and next thing you know, you run into a car or whatever, have an accident. So with that, Commissioner, my name's here. Yeah, my wife was here.
That was better than what some people have called me today, so. Are you moving it any higher up the building? or is it staying in the same location?
It's going to stay in the same location, but obviously the sign is larger, so it will, it will span from the lower window pane to the upper window pane of where it
As
is
large
right
as you
now.
can get at that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, it's larger, but not tremendously larger. What's about 40% more area? I think it's
Yes,
like 5
yeah.
feet higher.
Approximately,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it seemed too small.
Yeah, and
so
a
I-
little bit
I
hard to read,
compliment that,
so.
I just can't figure out how to make it
Yeah.
larger.
Yeah,
Without
right.
giving up windows, but it would be not quite Times Square yet.
I don't know if we're proposing anything like that, but maybe one day.
I think
we'll
the
see.
main question was, some people were talking about that when you come across the bridge, you're coming up to the traffic light there, that there's blockage of the sign right now, whether it's trees or the other elements and poles and things that are there. And whether bigger really gets as much as you want, but I applaud the improvement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner O'Toole?
Yeah, I agree, the current sign's almost unnoticeable, so this is an improvement, I'll be voting for it.
Commissioner Reed?
No questions?
Commissioner Jordan?
No questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's pretty good. Is there anyone from the public for or against this project? And I'll start at the middle, and I'll go to my right. So appears not to be. Commissioners, could I get a vote on this?
Motion to approve with condition?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second for approval with the one condition. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. Motion carried. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, the next item is a variance application for 1951 Hurd Street, which is zoned industrial and commercial neighborhood, which is filed by Justin Woodward with complete signs to install a wall sign 50 square feet larger than permitted by right of 25 feet. Is Justin here?
No, so the applicants were not able to have a representative here. The applicant is actually from a signage company out in Alabama, and they had a local representative, and they weren't able to make the meeting tonight. They had something come up, so they had requested a continuance, which I put on in front of everybody, so.
Okay. Do we need a vote on it?
Yeah, I think you should vote.
Okay. Commissioners, can I get a,
Make a motion, we continue.
is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved and second for continuation of this project. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, item number 3, this is a special exception application for 1025 Market Street, which is zoned downtown center. It's filed by Stephanie Salas? Salas. Okay. The Bellows Events. And it's to establish a use not specifically prohibited in event space use. Staff.
Yes. The applicant is proposing to establish an event space on site, which is classified as a use not specifically prohibited, which requires ZHB approval of a special exception application per section 7-303.11B of the zoning code. The property at 1025 Market Street is a .18 acre lot featuring a one-story, 9,623 square foot structure, which was constructed circa 1900. Property is bounded by Market Street and the property at 1029 Market Street to the north, Cameron Street and the property at 1029 Cameron Street to the east, the properties at 10 and 14 South Cameron Street to the south, and the property at 1021 Market Street to the west. This attached structure features elements of an indeterminate industrial architectural style. Character-defining features include the unusual building configuration wrapped around the corner lot, the brick facade with a stone water table, the decorative brick and stone elements and bays separated by brick pilasters, and the low parapet wall atop the building. The interior space is divided into 2 sections. The main entrance to the portion accommodating the proposed use features a full-view wooden door flanked by 1/1 double-hung windows. The other entrance on the eastern elevation features a full-view metal door and a recessed entrance flanked by side lights and storefront windows and topped with a simple transom. There are utilitarian access doors on the southern elevation of the building as well. Fenestration is limited to plate glass windows on the northern and eastern elevations, although the property formerly featured floor-to-ceiling storefront windows on those facades. as well as the southern elevation that the owner has infilled with metal paneling. The structure is topped with a flat metal roof. While the architecture is relatively nondescript, it is reflective of the industrial character of the surrounding neighborhood and the Cameron Street corridor overall, and as such, the property makes a minimal contribution to the architectural character of the community. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. Given the location within the AE 100-year floodplain and the floodway, the applicant and property owner must ensure that any investments into the property are submitted to the Planning Bureau for consideration and review against the floodplain regulations and best practices before work can commence. The Planning Bureau recommends the applicant consider coordination with the owners of nearby surface parking lots, such as 1001 or 1028 Market Street, to secure leases for off-street parking spaces so that patrons do not end up parking on the sidewalks near the property. The applicant must ensure they conform to the operations as outlined in the submitted business plan, including a prohibition on alcohol consumption and having operations end no later than midnight. Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. Property is located in a mixed-use corridor with nearby commercial, industrial, and institutional uses, but no nearby residential units, and thus the proposed use should not have an adverse impact on the neighborhood. The applicant has provided a detailed site plan confirming, confirming that no alcohol will be consumed on site and that events will not run past midnight. As such, the proposal is similar to a previously approved event space use at 2307 Berry Hill Street, located in a residential neighborhood which has not had adverse impacts on the community. And finally, the proposed development will activate an existing vacant building with a use that will accommodate the special occasion needs of local residents, helping to activate the area on nights and weekends.
Thank you, Jeff. You both heard the staff report with the conditions. First, could you state your name and address and relationship to the project?
My name is Stephanie Salas. I am the owner of the business, Bella's Events. My address is 907 South Progress Avenue, Harrisburg. And the address is 1025 Market Street, Harrisburg.
Dale Hare with KD3 Design Studio, representing the owner and helping tenant with their special exception application, located in 3rd Street in Lemoyne.
Okay. As I was saying, you heard the conditions stated by the staff. Are you acceptable with those conditions?
Yes, there actually is no planned construction. The space already is large enough. It has 2 ADA restrooms in it. It doesn't need it. The owner is working with some of the local people around there to see about parking on the weekends on there. And if he can get some sort of agreement, he plans to have that in place before we go to the zoning hearing there. So, and then the other one was the alcohol at the time, and that's part of our business plan, and
Okay.
that's what she wants to do.
That's the main area. Of course, I'm always concerned with the parking, so as the staff recommended, if you get some leases or nearby parking lots too, because we don't want them sitting, parking on the sidewalks, so. And since it's probably the events, you're gonna have quite a few people coming to those, so I guess by the other meeting, then you'll have a plan for that, or at least.
We'll look at it. I mean, by zoning ordinance, it's not required.
Okay.
So we were looking into it, and I mean, there is actually a parking lot right around the corner on 10th Street that's for sale. And I know I think the owner has looked into that. I'll talk to him more about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
quite aware it's not required, but we don't want a lot of problems with parking there.
understand.
All right. Okay, Commissioners, that was my only concern. And we'll start with Commissioner Vernon McKenzie.
Just a quick question. What was in there previously? Was it a restaurant, or what was that?
It was actually a private bikers club, motorcycle club.
Okay.
Motorcycle club. It was, I was in there before. It was pretty, I mean, it was an open space, and they had a little bar area.
Mhm.
I think when I checked with the codes, I don't know that they had an occupancy permit. I don't
They did
think
not.
they
It
did.
just kind of
They did.
happened? Okay.
Yeah.
That was before, the current owner didn't own the
Right.
property at that time. It was
What
someone else.
was in there before that? Do you know by chance how long ago that would have been?
I think it was a furniture store at one point in the past, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to determine if it
It
had been a
might have been 'cause the
restaurant
plate
that would have
with the
already
windows.
had, yeah, but if it had already had pattern of traffic in the past,
Yeah.
that would support, you know. But yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, you're gonna wanna find good places for people to park, but, yeah, that corner slowly, it needs activity. So, you know, I support getting you in there. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I recall there's been a lot of different things in there, restaurants and over the years, so there's been a lot of activities in that building. Commissioner O'Toole?
Yeah, I'll be supporting this regardless of the answer to this question, but have you done much in the way of outreach to the neighborhood, let them know what you're up to and get their input?
Well, I'm part of the church that's right on Market Street, St. Francis of Assisi Church.
All right.
And I've lived in Harrisburg and in this community for the past 25 years. My parents migrated here when I was 10. So I've done a lot of outreach work with my church within all of that street. A lot of my clients, I've been doing this for more than 10 years now. It's always been my passion. I have a 9 to 5. I work for the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank, but this is my passion. This is what I love to do. As you may already know, Harrisburg isn't an easy city to find a space like this. This is what I love to do, and I just want an opportunity to be able to showcase what I love to do, which is planning events, decorating, everything. I'm a single mother, and I'm just trying to find a better future for my daughter, and in that help the community have more spaces.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Reed?
Most of my questions were answered in your business plan, but just for clarification, you said it will hold 90 people. Is that banquet style?
Yes, it holds comfortably 10 to 15 tables with even more space around it. You know, I'm big on all of like having backdrops, and I do balloons. I do
I saw
balloon
that.
artist, so I do everything and everything. My Facebook page has been for the past almost 10 years, so yeah.
And then my second question is there a kitchen?
No,
So people would just be bringing food in and staging it on tables?
so on that, we kind of we've done a lot of improvements into the place. The place used to apparently be a biker's club. It was all, I'm sorry, but dingy and black and red and just horrible looking. We've completely renovated it to white and, you know, put fixtures in it. I myself have been working with, I have a lot of stuff at home that I have from my business. So on the corner where that bar used to be, we put like a larger area where people can set food trays.
Okay.
It has a sink where people can wash their hands, and it has a space for a fridge where people want to have water in their drinks and stuff like that. So there is a designated space for people to put their foods in. No, but it does not have a kitchen.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to get into that.
Just to tag on that a little bit, the reason that we're limiting it also is because if we go over 99 people, the building would have to have a sprinkler in it. So that's part of it, why we, you know, I talked to her, make sure it was okay with that we limit it in there. And anything that she's done is just been paint on the walls. And like I said, the countertop was already there. She just freshened it up some and
Right,
everything
just
there.
made
So
it
it's
look
not,
pretty.
they're not doing any, they actually aren't doing anything, you know, any construction in there.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yeah, just pretty much echoing what everybody else has said. You know, you're saying that the top capacity will be 90 people, you know, making sure that you work out some type of parking arrangement. I know you talked about on the weekends, but I'm sure you'll have events during the week as well. So as long as you know, get that worked out with one of the nearby lots, rather than that, I'm definitely in support of this, you know, that area and that intersection needs a lot of help, and businesses are starting to slowly come back. So, you know, good luck to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I have been trying to work to get in touch with I got in touch with the people that are selling the actual parking lot. So they only wanted to hear if I wanted to buy the parking spot, the parking place. don't want to buy it, but I've been very consistent into trying for them to get me in touch with the actual owner to see if I could even get, an agreement of some sort. We're still working on it, and then the owner is still trying to work with the other neighbors as well.
A quick suggestion is, before I retired, I used to work in that building at the corner. And we had a agreement to use some of the parking spaces, even though they were quite busy then. But now, since the COVID, I always see empty
It's always
spaces.
empty.
So you might go to ABC Brewery and talk to them, and that'll be, I gotta know they were very cooperative with us, so
That
that's
could be
a
an
good
option.
suggestion.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I will look into it.
With that, is there anyone in the public for or against the project? We'll start left, center, and no one on my right. Everybody left us. Commissioners, could I get a motion?
I move to approve the application with the conditions as stated.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moving to second to approve the project with the conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 4, this is a variance and special exception application for 1415 Sycamore Street, which is zoned residential medium density, filed by Hussein Ali, and is to establish a convenience store on site and to request relief from the associated off-street parking requirements. Staff.
Yes, so the applicant is proposing to establish a convenience store on site and to request relief from the associated off-street parking requirements. The project requires zoning hearing board approval of a variance application for a convenience store use per section 7-305.7 of the zoning code, and of a special exception application to request relief from the off-street parking requirements for such uses as outlined in section 7-327.6 of the zoning code. Property at 1415 Sycamore Street is a .05 acre lot featuring a two-story, 4,881 square foot structure, which was constructed circa 1900. Property is bounded by Sycamore Street to the north, property at 1417 Sycamore Street to the east, and undeveloped public rights-of-way to the south and west. The semi-detached structure features elements of an indeterminate architectural style. Character-defining features include the formstone facade, the roll-down metal security doors, and a wide wooden staircase on the rear elevation, providing access to a residential apartment above. It is unclear what the main entrance is, given the security doors are locked in the closed setting, but older images of the property indicate that there was or is a solid wooden door providing access to the first floor, as well as a similar solid wooden door beside it, which once provided access to interior stairs to the upper floor. Fenestration is limited to 7 1/1 windows on the front and side elevations, although the property formerly featured 3 side-by-side windows on the first floor as well. Structure appears to be topped with flat rubber roofs. The building is in a significant state of disrepair, and its architectural features are not reflected in any of the surrounding residential properties. As such, the property does not contribute to the architectural character of the community and indeed detracts from it. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. The applicant must ensure that the business conforms to all specific criteria outlined in section 7-309.2Q of the zoning code and the signage regulations outlined in chapter 7-325 of the zoning code. The applicant may not keep products, displays, freestanding signage, or any other materials in the yard/sidewalk in front of the building. And finally, the applicant must allow the Codes Bureau to perform a comprehensive inspection of the entire property and building to ensure aspects such as utilities and access points are up to modern codes and to ensure the structural stability of the building. Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. The proposed project will address a long-standing vacant property that has created a blighting influence on the neighborhood. The proposed use will reestablish a convenience store use on site that appears to have existed several decades ago and reactivate a vacant storefront space. And there appears to be sufficient justification for the proposed variance and special exception requests, including the availability of on-street parking along the 1300 and 1400 blocks of Sycamore Street.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Could you state your names, relationship to the project, and address?
My name is Saad Ali. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I'm helping out with the project.
My name is Hassam Ali, and I'm taking the lead on the project.
Okay. You both heard the conditions. Are you acceptable of those conditions? Okay. One of the other concerns I have is the size of the parking, but that's not really required, is did you talk to any of the neighbors?
We sent out letters to them, yeah.
And what was their,
I mean, the neighbors are always going by when we're working on it and like excited about it opening up because a lot of people are already there, standing there and talking. So every time the shutters would be open, they'd be like, when is the store coming? Or
'Cause
what's gonna be here?
I think there was a store there a long time ago. And the people who lived in the neighborhood back in the day still remember it.
Yeah, so it's been pretty positive about people wanting something there.
okay.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I did put a picture from the Dauphin County tax parcel records on everybody's desk up there. That's the photo they have from the records, which is probably from the 90s. And I think the sign on there says like Manor Market and Grill, I believe. So that's kind of, even though we have nothing in the records that there's like any mercantile permit for the property, and you go back in Google Streets View and can't really see any occupancy, that does provide evidence that there was a similar use on site.
So you're saying they were positive most year?
Yeah, for the most part, everyone was positive that we spoke to. Everyone's, from the school, even like employees, everyone's asking, when is it gonna come, what's coming, is there a store?
Okay. Okay, that's all questions I have at this time. Commissioner McKenzie, do you have anything to say? Commissioner O'Toole?
So you said you sent letters to the neighborhood, people in the neighborhood?
Yeah,
Following up on his question, and you explained to them what you're putting in there. All right. Usually convenience stores are one thing that gets the public out, but no further questions.
Commissioner Reed?
I'm just curious about the proposed hours of operation.
It's probably gonna be like morning from like 7 to like maybe 10.
That's it.
No, okay. Commissioner Jordan?
No questions. The only comment I have is just, I think it'd be a good use of the space, and considering the way that the property is laid out and its history, it makes sense for there to be a store there, so, yeah.
Is there anyone from the public, left, middle, right? Commissioners, can I get a motion or motion on this?
Motion to approve with conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second for approval with the conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And with that, Jeff, any other business?
No other business for tonight. Next month's looking like a pretty good agenda, probably 6 or 7 items on it, so.
This is a good agenda. Anything, commissioners, for the good of the order?
Yeah, Joe, we had discussion at parking authority earlier, relative to, I guess, some sort of a proposal to construct some sort of a downtown master planning group, which sounds like it's maybe led with some legislators, including Creedy perhaps as the implementing entity, and I would like to propose we at least discuss perhaps writing a letter indicating that we'd like to have a representative on, so we don't have a repeat of the Linda Thompson, where you were thrown out of the room and they locked the door.
I do remember that.
First thought in my mind, I don't think the entities people were talking to are that, of that caliber, but I think we should, I'd like to see us have somebody there as a representative.
And to be clear, I believe this initiative is going to be focused on economic development and maybe less so like physical development of new structures. But I mean, that will certainly come into play about bringing residents, new business space downtown too and stuff.
Exactly, it comes down to housing development and all the other things. And parking might have something to do with it.
With that, as chairman, I'd like to recommend Vern to represent us. Never volunteer, they always come in the Army.
I guess probably just right now needs a motion, Jeffrey or somebody to write that letter.
Yeah.
And then once we, once he says.
Just draft a letter of interest and that we would certainly like to discuss it, and even within the context that there are elements of the comprehensive plan which exist,
Mhm.
paid for by the city that may or may not have applicability anymore, in the context of, number of years that passed.
Right.
At least it's something.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of, a lot of that document references downtown in terms of connectivity, economic development, mixed use. And so I certainly think it has applicability to, at least as a starting point for some of the discussions.
Okay. Would I sign that, or are you gonna sign it?
Well, if it would be coming from the planning commission, I think it would be best if you signed that.
Okay, with that, I have nothing. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Make that motion then?
I made a motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second for approval of the letter. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions. Motion carried. Very good. Could I get a motion for adjournment? We don't need one, we can just stay here.
So moved.
Is there a second? It's moved and second for adjournment.
Where's the gavel?
You know, like that gavel.
When we get a chance.